Hello everyone, we are the Group 9 and what we are going to discuss is the employee empowerment. We will also discuss the rationale for empowerment, the inhibitors of empowerment, the manager's roles in empowerment, implementing empowerment, how to recognize empowered employees, and what empowerment errors that we should avoid. Hitting a brick wall, especially at work, is one of the worst feelings in the world. Employees can sense when they have the ability to accomplish more, but lack the power or resources to do so, or the voice to demand it. Working in this state is exaggerating and it leads to low morale, decreased productivity, and disengagement. Employee empowerment is defined as a management approach wherein decision-making is shared with the subordinates. And it also pertains to an organizational state where employees are given the responsibility to make improvements and the authority to make changes in the organization. One of the most basic employee empowerment examples is simply giving employees a voice in important decisions that could affect them. According to one study, 74% of managers surveyed felt that employee input was very or somewhat effective at improving decision-making processes. And when employees feel like they have some control over their work environment, they tend to be more engaged and satisfied with their jobs, which means lower turnover rates for the business. Employers also get an increased sense of ownership over processes and products, which make them feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves. A real-life example of a company that puts this idea into practice is Microsoft. The company conducted employee engagement surveys which allowed employees to share their opinions on things like employee development programs, career advancement opportunities, and how the company should handle employee layoffs. Then the employee engagement surveys were used to adjust employee development programs, create new career paths, and reevaluate jobs satisfaction. Microsoft also made the survey results available to all employees in an open forum. It is to make each employee of Microsoft to have a clear sense of purpose and to know why they come to work every single day. Why is it important to practice employee empowerment in a company? So here's the rationale for empowerment. So in rationale for empowerment, it focuses on how to improve work outcomes. It increased employee satisfaction, giving the cost benefits, and developing career development. So in these factors, it helps to promote creative thinking. It increased employee contribution. It leads to self-motivation and a sense of independence that is translated into greater loyalty and extra effort for the organization. It also increased power equals lower absenteeism and better productivity. Employees have more satisfying work, and also it increased depth of competence among employees. It is also helping to make less conflict with administration and managers. It also helps the employees to be more likely to agree with changes if they participate in decision making.
So next, the inhibitors of empowerment. We have resistance from employees and unions, and resistance from management. So resistance from employees and unions, employees always resist change, and even positive change can be uncomfortable for employees because it involves a new unfamiliar territory. So meaning, employees are not welcome for changes. They didn't accept the changes because it can be uncomfortable for them and it can be unfamiliar for them. It's hard for them to adjust for changes because they will do differently every day. Example of this is from manual to digital. Especially sa mga tumatagal na sa work nila, mahihirapan talaga silang mag-adjust kasi kahit kasi nasasanayan na nila. Kahit na pumikit sila, alam na nila yung gagawin nila. Magka-calculator lang, kung pumikit na lang sila magka-calculator, alam na nila na yung gagawin nila. Kaya, mahihirapan sila kapag halimbawa from manual to digital. So next, we have resistance from management. Managers may feel insecure because they perceive that full implementation of employee empowerment will diminish their power as the boss. So some of managers also didn't accept the changes because they thought that the company may no longer need them and they will be replaced from their position. And this is where insecurities come in, and fear of losing a job and a position in the organization. So the question is, what should we do to solve this problem? First and foremost, for the changes to be made, they must be included. As a manager, we need to inform them and explain to them why things need to change. They need to know and understand the rationale. We need changes for them din naman. So, to reduce their work and for the better of the company. Yun lang talaga ang kailangan natin na ipaliwanag sa mga employees and managers. So, let's proceed to the manager's rules. Manager's rules in empowerment. We have commitment, leadership, and facilitation. Commitment. A manager consistently support empowerment program and reinforces them in the tangible ways. So, as a manager, you need to be committed to your work. Like, whatever happened, no matter what, you stay to their organization. Loyalty is the best contribution to the company. So, leadership. A manager promotes empowerment by being a consistent role model, mentor, and trainer. So, how will they know and see that you are committed to your job if you don't have leadership? So, you need to be a consistent role model to your employees. Be a mentor and trainer to them. Teach them through sharing your knowledge. Teach the things you know that they didn't know. Kumbaga, teamwork. So, facilitation. A manager constantly monitors employees to ensure that they are being empowered and acts quickly on employee recommendation. So, as a manager, you need to assure that everything will be monitored. And as a manager, recommend something that can help to the company. Avoid the word of just go on the flow. Share your brilliant ideas for the company, for the better naman. So, that's the manager's rules in empowerment.
Implementing empowerment is a way that organization allow the employees to make a decision making that would help them to create value to their business. The widely used methods in the implementation of employees empowerment are as follow. First, brainstorming. The participants requires and encouraged to share ideas that would help for the growth of the company. All ideas are accepted which serve as alternatives, and the group should choose the effective idea by weighing each recommendation. For instance, your company is in the midst of crisis. Of course, the manager automatically set up the meeting and discuss the problem, where all of the group are required to contribute a necessary idea to find solution in that problem. Through brainstorming, it gives the team confidence and develop their creative thinking skills, as well as one technique you can use to encourage team building and innovation. Second, nomical group technique. This method has process or steps to vote the best idea that been presented. Everyone in the group is given an opportunity to contribute to the discussion, and there are 5 steps to be followed. First, a manager states the issue. Second, each group member record their prepared ideas. Third, Each group member open up their ideas to the public by asking them individually. Fourth, suggested ideas clarified to ensure that group members understand what is meant by each so that they could focus on their decision-making process. Example, a manager presented the problem of the company and it is needs the suggestion of the group with explanation of its purpose to convince everyone, but it is done by voting who's the best effective idea to be implemented. And the last steps is employees silently vote their 5 favorite ideas by recording them separately in a card. Third, quality circles. It is a group of employees that meets regularly for the purpose of identifying and other activities for the improvement of excellent quality within the workplace. Example, your company needs more facilities in the certain area of the workplace, so the employees have right to express their thought about the concern because it would also help for the development of the company. Fourth, suggestion box. This involves placing of vessels in the convenient location in which employees may put their written suggestion so that their concern would address. And also, suggestion box encourage employees to not only identify problems but also to suggest solution. Example, you have concern about the company or about you as an employee, so you can able to express your concern. Lastly, walking and talking. It is important that managers are simply walk around the workplace to observe about the facilities of the area and ask suggestion to the employees for the development of the company because they are the one who notice of what being suggested. Example, based on my current workplace, the manager and coordinator always walking in the area to observe and ensure that all employees are doing well to their task.
How a company will know that their employees are empowered. So here's are the different comparisons to recognize unempowered employees. First is waiting to be told versus taking the initiatives. Unempowered employees knows how to take the initiative to act when a problem arises in the company. An empowered employee can define the problem and will evaluate it for an alternative solution without waiting to be told by the management. The next one is seeing only problems versus seeing opportunities. An empowered employee is not threatened easily by the problems that arises on the company but rather treated it as an opportunity to evaluate him or herself of his or her capabilities. She will find ways to learn and improve his or her skills in solving the problem. Another is accepting input at face value versus thinking critically. An empowered employee thinks critically in any situation and decision making that they are into. An empowered employee uses logic, reasoning, and assumption based on their experiences rather than accepting input without the process of analysis. It is because they are avoiding future failures of the company. Though the last one, to recognize that a company have an empowered employee with this comparison of past decision up the line versus building consensus of solutions. So an empowered employee contributes solutions to the problems of the company instead of just passing and letting the management to do all the decision making. An empowered employee thinks a solution and propose it for an implementation. It is a way of how they will show their concerns to the company.
This is the empowerment errors to avoid. Unclear meaning of empowerment. The management must have a limitations to the employees to apply the concepts of empowerment, and they given some tasks to do what the customer satisfaction. By the word unclear, the management still the decision to make it is good or bad to the company. Second, lack of training of the employees. The company must provide training to all employees to improve critical thinking and decision making. And all of the training must have a types of decision that when they empowered. And lastly, the third, lack of patience in the implementation of empowerment. The management is more patiently to the employee because all of the employee must they show their skills, attitudes, perspectives in powered way.